Every Friday morning, the first thing I do after my cup of coffee is wake up and see who this guy is picking.
All right, Johnny, who are you picking this year?
Mendola.
Not you're saying that right next to Mendola? Man, we're going to throw this in Johnny's face each week. The John Mendola Show, the Johnny Mendola Show, watches every week for the picks. We're talking Abington Heights Golf, and Frank Summa is with us, so let's talk a little bit about the squad this year.
Well, I have a few returning starters from last year, which makes it, of course, a little bit more competitive for our team itself, for the players that tried out, which we had last Monday. 22 players tried out for 10 spots, which is really tough to try to make our team. Two returning starters who did not have to try out, Kate Kelleher and Robert Munley. So that's what shortened the field down on participants that basically made the team.
Let's talk about the early season golf for you guys and getting on the links and what you guys were able to do here early. And you guys won the Cup yesterday?
Yes, we won the Simons Cup yesterday back-to-back with a score of 310. 6 strokes better than last year's team, so that's an accomplishment there. But the players in itself, once April comes around, the weather starts, they're out there banging balls. You know, golf is usually their #1 sport that they play. If it's not intermingled with baseball, but they do play golf. So when they're ready to play come August, there's really not much that's done. Their swings are usually perfected and they get right down into it. So they're all ready this season.
Let's talk about the home course and what you like about it.
Yeah. What could you not like about Glen Oak Country Club? We're pleased to play at Glen Oak. We have one of the nicest courses around. A few of the team members are, they play there, they're members there, so it makes it a little bit more manageable for them. And then of course when we get to practice there, those new players coming from other courses as well as not playing at a country club itself, they get to see the field of the course. So we do have a little upper hand there.
Let's talk about coaching golf. Often every year I try to talk to coaches, pick their brain a little bit, like how do you approach it? Is it a lot the mental game? A couple little things here and there. Tell us about your approach.
Yeah, so basically it's already set in stone. Once we start to practice, these kids, whether they have swing coaches or whether they see somebody, but they do a lot of videotaping. I help them with the videotaping of their golf swing to see what might go wrong. So basically as a coach, especially at the caliber of these kids, you don't want to be tweaking with any swing, especially during the season, because then that just starts playing the mental part, but that's where more or less I come in. We're only allowed to coach in between the tee and green during a match. So you see a mental breakdown, that's the only part you can really help the player with. And I think I do a pretty good job at that to get them back in the row. Let's forget that hole and let's move on and try to calm them down a little bit.
How about the outlook for this team this year? Obviously there's always good teams, Lackawanna League, Wyoming Valley Conference, and you never know, how it's going to end up. But you guys, I'm sure, are looking to compete for a title as you would every year.
Yeah. So of course that's one of the goals is to repeat as the league champs, and then of course to move on to districts. Last year we lost a heartbreaker to Crestwood. So I would say that the kids do have a little chip on their shoulder, knowing that it's possible we could go back, and we don't want to put the cart before the horse. But kids are good, and I really think we could move much further. If we pass the district, I think we can move much further than that. I think we'll be going to October.
Let's talk about depth. You only have X amount of golfers, but you're saying, hey, I got quality kids here.
I do have that. One of the things that I tell the kid, that every spot's available. We have play-ins on Monday once the league starts, which will start next week. And then when we have those play-ins, those kids that are in the 4, 5, 6 spot, even the 3 spot, at any given time, that the kids that are behind them could possibly move right in there. Golf is, of course everybody likes to go shoot a 72 every day, that's perfect, but it doesn't happen. So I got to go with the hot hands that are playing. They all know that. So when you have a play and he gets that kid that playing in the 4, 5, 6 spot, you may beat them and you get that opportunity. So you'll get a league match to play in and see how well you do in the competitive part. And that's where it's really tough. Playing in practice is one thing, but it's a little different when they're in a match. They're grinding a little bit more than they normally would.
All right, Coach, well, have a great season.
Thank you so much.